Hey, welcome back to the Try Swim Coach podcast. I'm Coach Dominic Latella, and today I've got a guest that I mentioned last week, Ryan Stille. This guy basically took his freestyle, threw it in the trash, swapped it out for something that actually works. I'm not kidding. Ryan went from a front quadrant freestyle, the one that everyone says you have to do, to an opposite quadrant freestyle. And let me tell you, it's like he found the cheat code for open water. We're going to break down what that transformation looked like, why it worked, and why the internet got weirdly upset about it, because apparently you're just supposed to swim like you're in a YouTube tutorial, or you're doing it wrong. Spoiler alert, you're not. Ryan's here to talk about what it felt like to unlearn everything, retrain his body, and crush distances he thought were impossible. And hey, if you're listening to this and thinking, damn, I need that, you're in luck. All the stuff we talked about today, it's covered in our courses at tryswimcoach.com, or they will be shortly. Go there, sign up, actually fix your stroke instead of just watching the same bad YouTube advice and on repeat. And while you're at it, share the show, leave us a review, because let's be honest, you probably owe me one by now. All right, enough of my yapping. Here's our conversation with Ryan Stille. Enjoy.
I'm standing. I have a standing desk, so like it helps me swim faster by standing at a desk. I think my swim coach told me that. No, I'm kidding.
Not this one. We might
Yeah,
which is okay if you do. So I wanted to invite you onto the podcast, and it kind of it happened sort of like in a really good timing, in that you had messaged me, I'm going to see you on Friday. I'm really excited about that, by the way. And then I had made a post on Reddit about your Tahoe swim. So in the open water subreddit.
Wait, he didn't know that?
No, he didn't know that. He gave me permission forever to go to post off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. People were impressed and confused. So I basically, for the last year or so, have been keeping very quiet online about our approaches to freestyle, and just been giving sort of like general concepts that all fall into place. And so I thought it was really important to start to stir the pot a little bit and give some contrast to the internet. And you're in the middle of that contrast.
Awesome.
So I thought, we should have Ryan on to talk about these types of things and what his experience was. And from my recollection, there was some apprehension about making the change to
for sure.
So Ryan used to swim completely differently, correct? The point of what we're doing here?
Let me tell.
Backtrack and give some information about Ryan.
So Ryan and I started working together, was it 2018?
Yeah, 2018. I think it was. Yep, somewhere thereabouts.
Right. And
I was biking and swimming, but trying to get stronger swimming.
Right. Not open water swimming at all. Like, it wasn't on the radar, really.
No, it wasn't. It was just, splashing around back and forth in the pool.
Right. And so then COVID happened.
Yep.
I didn't see Ryan for, I don't know, it was a long time, like 5 years probably.
I think it was in 2023. I had a big swim plan that kind of blew up because of some flooding. So they canceled all the open water swimming in Vermont. And I was really kind of heartbroken on the whole issue. And I was like, well, actually turned out to be a great thing, because I reconnected with you, and I'm like, well, I've been doing all this training, and then I sit down with you and you're like, you're swimming it all wrong. I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm glad that open water swim got canceled. and I said, well, let's learn, or tell me what I should be doing, or tell me where things are. And I think that's where things started moving and progressing from that point. And, it took a lot of work. It wasn't easy for sure, but it was totally worth it.
Thanks. One of the reasons why I wanted Ryan to come on, because the way that we did this is different than what I would normally do.
Okay, so what is this?
Work on his stroke, change his technique. That's this, right? So normally I would have someone come into SwimBox like 2 to 3 times in a month, and we would work on things together live in person. Ryan was coming in once a month, And then I would give him a video analysis of like a 30-second clip of his swimming as homework, as a way to like, he can reinforce this, he can sort of like really solidify it. Because I think, Ryan, you did say this would be really beneficial if we could do this, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's kind of it was different than your traditional approach. I think that you're working with all your other swimmers. It was yeah, it was welcome, and just schedules and timing wise, it worked out really nicely.
yeah, and for me, it was an opportunity to practice coaching someone slightly remotely, right? It wasn't like full on remote. I got to see you once a month. You would get massive
Yep.
questions whenever you had questions, and then you had your analysis to kind of like give yourself the homework. So
When he had his analysis, would you give him drills and things to do? Because you're saying, like, I know what you do, and I'm confused. How did you go? Like, what are you saying you went about differently? And like, what was this analysis? If
just
he
a
came
video
in for-
analysis.
right? And if he came in for a lesson, did the lesson, and then you left him with another video analysis with homework? I'm
If-
trying to understand.
So he would come, we would do a lesson together. At some point in the lesson, I would film like a 30-second clip, maybe a minute long clip.
Of just swimming freestyle.
This swimming freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would take that clip, give an analysis to the swim so that he can basically have me there telling him everything he was doing right and wrong, mostly wrong.
Ouch.
That's right.
That's because of where my mind lives, not because of Ryan's ability level. So, right. So
Of
it was
course
an
not.
opportunity for him to almost like have this like reiterated concept
When
over
you
and
say
over
you're
again.
analyzing the stroke,
And
you leave him with, he has the video of him swimming and your voiceover.
in drawing or whatever I was drawing
Okay.
to point out
I
things.
just want to make sure
And-
that everyone understands what you're saying by took home an analysis.
Yeah.
What that actually entails.
And so then I might have sent you some drills that I broke down over video, but I might not have. I don't really remember.
A couple here and there.
Yeah. If you
Like,
had a
do
question
this.
or something.
She's doing it better than you are. This is what you want to be doing. Okay. So I did my best to replicate all the incredible swimmers that you have and you're working with that we're doing it right. That I was kind of like trying to get there. So yeah.
So when you were confronted with, I think we need to change your stroke around, I don't teach that anymore. All right. Did you have an initial reaction to that?
Yeah, I think I was coming into this like thinking like I just wanted to maximize my efficiency. I know swimming's super technical, or I got the impression, or it was reinforced that it was super technical, like within 5 or 10 minutes of us, re-engaging and talking again, that like there's balance, you can be like out of balance in the water. And so it came real quick. So I'm like, okay, I can work on this. Let's get after it, and tell me what I need to do. I was receptive to any coaching and direction because I think I felt that I could go faster, but my body just wasn't delivering the faster speed. So yeah, I was like all ears, like what's the secret sauce? Mix it up and let's get after it.
Do you feel like that it was the adjustment that we made? People define freestyle in lots of different ways, and how freestyle looks is usually how they define it, right?
Sure.
I think the internet likes to define freestyle by what your arms are doing above the water. I like to define it more like what our arms are doing in relationship to each other versus, so like a front quadrant freestyle would imply both arms are in the front quadrant at the same time. That's a good way to define that freestyle. Ours approach is more like an opposite quadrant freestyle, which I think is a better way to describe what we're doing. But the internet really, really loves to talk about elbows above the water. And that's what they really had an issue with when it came to your stroke was,
Okay.
why is his arm so straight, right? Or like those kinds of thoughts.
Who's they? You mean
The internet. Yeah. They use the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you first met Ryan, did you teach him a different thing?
Yeah, we were coaching a front quadrant freestyle at that point,
Okay,
so that's
so-
what he got.
That's information we need. So when Ryan first came to you before COVID, you taught him something completely differently.
And that's why we said I had to go, sorry, we got to change everything you do.
Right. But from what you'd already taught him.
Mhm.
And that's a big piece here.
Yep.
Right. Like, so you taught him something completely different in 2018. Things happened. Time passed. He came back.
Mm-hmm.
And
My
you-
knowledge
and
changed too.
You went, hey, all those things I taught you, we're going to change them. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, as I recall, it was like, hey, that was good then, but this is this is better now. And here's
Right.
why. And Dominic got, as I recall, got like really technical on like the aspects and the freeze frames of some of the video that was shown and just some of the studies that had been done. And again, I'm like a willing participant to try to get more efficiency from my stroke. So I'm like, let's do it. And I was basically ready to do anything. So
Was it confusing for me to say, we're going to keep your arms opposite? We're going to not spear into the water with a high elbow.
yes,
Do you recall any of the like the
yes,
actions that
I was it was a mess. I was an absolute like I came in like honestly coming in with some degree of confidence. I had some smaller distance under 6 mile swims under I think that I had done, and I was preparing for like a really big swim that didn't happen. And I thought like I got this, like I know what I'm doing. I quickly learned I didn't have anything. I wasn't stroking with my left arm, which I thought I was. My right arm was a little wonky. My legs were splayed out. They were opposite. I was out of balance. I mean, I was swimming upstairs, swimming uphill because he's going on upstairs. I'm swimming uphill. Like there could be a master class. Like the internet would revolt if you send the master class of before and after videos here. It was kind of like rough, but again, I was like, I think I had a willing spirit of like, I want to get after this and I want to learn because clearly you have more information, new information. You know, life is dynamic, things change. Totally accepted that. So I was like, let's take and incorporate this new approach and let's see what happens. Let's see where it goes.
Was there anything that's like, just kind of like thinking about it, are you surprised? Have you surprised yourself? I mean, I know I've been surprised with the messages and the updates that you send me. Anything that was like very surprising from this adjustment to your stroke?
I'm a lot faster and I'm not as young as I used to be. Like I was an 8 and under all-star. And I think that was like the peak of my swimming career at NBSL at All Stars one August afternoon. And like, it's really not gone or trended in the right direction after that. So, I swam in high school. I swam, year round, graduated, and I didn't swim in college, but I did compete in open water swims. I did, running and triathlon like a lot of your athletes probably do, and then transitioned over to bike racing. But I always kept coming back to swimming. And I thought, I'm super competent in swimming. I was put on the swim team at a young age because my mom said I had too much energy. So I was like, okay, like I can do this. And I think it's going to like work out okay. And so I just kept kind of gravitating back through some of these breaks and segments into other sports, coming back to like, hey, swimming's really good. And oh, by the way, like open water swimming or marathon swimming, like that's really attractive to me because you have this whole element of like water conditions and wind, and you just don't know what you're going to get. So there's that kind of like mystique or like question mark. Like, how's this going to turn out? I don't know. Let's go find out. So that's really been my attitude in all of
Those are
this.
the exact reasons I stay out of the open water. The exact reasons.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. I can't figure this out. I don't want to know. Stay in the pool.
For sure.
Wait, I didn't know you did NBSL. What team were you on?
I was on the Park Lawn Piranhas. Yes.
Shut up. That's so funny. I had no idea.
I didn't either.
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This pays.
I did that. And then over at college, like between college, I actually coached. I was an assistant coach with the NBSL for 2 summers through college, helping a former teammate out. And that was a lot of fun too. So I really enjoyed, like, I love swimming and it was fun.
Yeah.
I was a lifeguard growing up. So it was like, I was very, very much accustomed to the water, being in the water, helping others enjoy the water as much as I do. So.
Man, that is so funny. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I feel like I low-key now know nothing about you. I'd be like, wait, what? You grew up here? We did all of the same things. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me. Did you keep swimming your whole like?
Did you swim year round at all?
I did. I was a year-round swimmer. I started with Solitar, I think, over in the Tuckahoe pool back in McLean. I think Solitar was swimming. Like this, I'm kind of aging myself. I have to get in the time machine, go back a couple decades.
Yeah, they're gone.
And then
I
did that. Yeah, and then so Solitar was awesome, and then I gravitated to Arlington Aquatics.
Oh,
and I was swimming. And so doing a lot of swimming at Arlington Aquatics, and was really with them, I think, as I recall, for most of my swimming career through high school. And so it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, But I think honestly, like, I think that like I'm accomplishing some really cool things now in open water, but I think it's because I was doing the reps like 2-a-days back in the, way, way, way back in the day, decades ago. I was putting in the work to do a lot of swimming, probably definitely not how I'm swimming today, but I think all of those, 10,000 hours as it's called, or, and in my case, maybe hundreds of thousands of hours in the pool going back and forth, following the black and blue tiles on the bottom of the pool have probably helped, build the conditioning and build kind of, again, a desire to keep growing. And even decades later, like still want to compete and have fun and see what's possible.
Yeah.
So since you said you coached, I've got to know, how did you get that job?
I think it was by default. It was not.
Thank you. So I've talked about this so many times. I'm like, swim coaches in this area are just on a swim team, and then someone asks if they want to coach, and then sometimes they just stay a coach forever, but you were never trained. No one gives you any information. Like, if you did this, you could do it, right? And you go, sure.
Yeah.
And now I think it's fascinating that we have one of you in the wild that I didn't even know about, didn't even know you existed, and you are one of our clients. Like, you swim your whole life, you coached, you swim more, and now you came, and you're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, it's fascinating to me. I think it's amazing. I didn't know any of this. That's crazy to me. You are A, proving my point, and B, that's just so cool, because I am assuming that you had to swim your strokes as a child with like a keyhole pull underwater.
Keyhole, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
By the way,
You put me in the DeLorean and took me back to back in the 80s. It was back in the 80s, and it was the keyhole, and then it was it was all sorts of like silliness relative to where we are today.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And, the internet thinks that what we're doing is silly, by the way. And I think what they're doing is silly.
It's all right. That's okay. I think I can just point to results, and you can tell the internet to look him up and look at what he's doing, and look at like how much faster and, healthier, knock on wood, and just overall happiness and fun levels are up there too. That's important. Not to be slogging it out. You're training for something, and the carrot is, it's worth it to do the event. It all helps. It all makes a positive impact.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this on the last podcast. You came up in the last podcast because we talked about that Reddit post, because there was somebody that said that you were an outlier, that 99.9% of people should swim like a front quadrant freestyle with a high elbow recovery. You're not an outlier. I'm sorry to tell you that. I mean, you are in your own special way.
Wait. I'm not special, Dominic.
Ryan.
I've been told I'm special and unique my whole life. This is really, this is hitting hard here.
Well, I brought you on here to tell you the truth.
Wow.
So is that the gimmick? Is that why I'm here? You're going to break this to me in front of all your listeners?
That's right. Brian, you're going to put this out.
This is just our way of torture.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, it sounds crazy. I mean, think about it. How were you an outlier? An outlier is somebody who does something that no one else can do, but you're doing the thing that a lot of my clients are doing, right? So it was kind of off like, well, how is he an outlier? You aren't a pro athlete. As far as I know, you're not doping. So
yeah,
this is your chance to say no.
No, clean.
Right? And it's like, you're doing swims that are monitored by officials.
Yep, for sure.
Where there's no outlier, right? It's like, I think of outliers of someone who can swim a front quadrant freestyle and also go fast. That's an outlier to me.
You know who an outlier is Katie Ledecky.
She's an outlier.
And you can't all be like, hey, we're all going to swim like Katie Ledecky. Katie Ledecky is an Amazon. She's built more like a man.
She's strong.
She's so strong. I used to fit her for her racing suits forever ago, and I watched her grow up. And then one day she walked in, and I was like, who is this tall woman? Oh my God.
Yeah,
she was huge. Yeah. She's huge. She's an outlier.
Is she 6 foot tall? She's pretty tall.
I think she's either 5.
She's fast. Like, if I got in the pool with her, all I would see would be bubbles. Like,
I mean,
like,
she's
my artist.
The reason, right? That's the reason. She's amazing.
Yeah, and the sustainability in her career is just epic. I mean, she's not 18. I mean, she's fantastic. I mean, she's great role model, a great individual, just an awesome overall swimmer. For
Agreed.
sure.
I think she's a great demonstration of not an outlier who, just because she's strong and tall, but she's gotten to the point where she's gotten to because of consistency
Yeah.
and training.
Yeah.
Right. So
Right.
it makes a big difference. And I think that's where most people don't understand that. I think for myself, I'll speak for myself for sure. Growing up as a swimmer, I did not have good training habits.
What do you mean?
It was always try harder, go faster, try harder, go faster. Oh, you hurt yourself? Take some time off, come back, go harder, go faster. Right? It wasn't about like building into anything. It wasn't about like building a base. It was literally show up to practice. I remember when I first started coaching triathletes, a triathlete told me, oh, this is my race pace. And I was confused because as a swimmer, when my coach said race pace, that just meant sprint.
Exactly.
Right?
But that doesn't
But that's not
necessarily
good training habits.
Okay, so you personally didn't have good training habits?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Or you're saying that the workouts you were giving didn't
Myself,
needs
me
good
personally,
training
right? Because I was chronically injured all the time, probably because of my training habits. I would do things like train outside of training, right?
Yeah.
That's a bad thing to do. But you
Well, there probably, there probably wasn't as much science and information. I mean, the internet wasn't there. Go back to the internet. Like all those friendly folks on the internet, they weren't there to say, "Oh no, hey, try this," or "Hey,
Those
look at
friendly
this," or
folks,
people didn't have podcasts or blogs or
Mhm.
all the information that we can be overwhelmed with today. But that if you can read enough and search enough, and or at least search in the right areas, you can find a lot of really good stuff out there, and that wasn't there necessarily initially.
Right. I mean, think about when you were swimming. You're a little bit younger than I am. You got to drink all the chocolate milk you wanted because everyone knew chocolate milk was great for recovery at that point.
Drink.
Right?
I remember that.
I was in college.
Wait a second. Are you saying it's not anymore?
I mean, if it makes
give me
you
a second.
better,
I'm gonna have to adjust. I just learned something here from my training manual.
I do remember that. I remember it'd be like, you can't stop me from having chocolate milk. And then no one watched me make the chocolate milk. And I'm like, this is a mistake. It's like,
Right.
way too much.
yeah, whatever.
It's for recovery.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I think these training habits caused me to have a lot of bad thoughts about training and swimming and working out, and not until I was an adult now, basically, that I recognize this and recognize, oh, if I am consistent with low effort, I'm better. If I'm consistent with just making sure I do something, not kill myself, I am better. Because I would do things like, oh man, I'm really tired today. I had a whole bag of Doritos and some ice cream for lunch. I know I'm going to crush my swim practice now.
How old are you?
I was a teenager in high school.
Okay.
So,
I mean, that's pretty normal.
but it's still bad.
Yeah, it's still bad.
I don't think
But-
that a lot of swimmers
But
are doing it.
probably not. I mean, the kids that I see lining up at these, when I go to various pools around the area and they're swimming like one lane over and they're in high school. I mean, I'm guessing that they're probably just by their speed and just by their determination and some of the times you see that all swimmers are posting up that they're probably tuned into like higher awareness on diet, sleep, exercise, dry land training, which really didn't exist when I was growing up as a swimmer. Like you just swam and recovery was like sitting on the couch with your chips. So
Yeah. I remember doing dry land. We first started with doing ultimate frisbee as dry land, which is fun. It's a fun source of dry land.
I hated when they turned dry land into games. I was like,
But-
stop. I want to just do something.
Then my coach had the
Fun.
great idea to do ultimate frisbee with like an 8-pound medicine ball.
That's a terrible idea. Let's kill all the children.
I don't think that's going to end well.
Rip their eyes out of their
Right.
sides.
And I was telling my swimmer this morning, who was a 10-year-old,
Good Lord.
that my swim coach growing up, he was an accountant. He was a phenomenal swimmer. He swam at Old Dominion. He might have got a trial cut. He was a great swimmer, but when it came to coaching, all he knew how to do was kind of grind people out. He didn't know
Give good
technique. He didn't
workouts.
know good practice necessarily. He just was like, here we go. Oh, ultimate frisbee. You guys are doing fun and having fun with that and doing well. Let's add an 8-pound medicine ball instead. Like, what?
For sure.
I think it's like at that age, you're almost just like make the kids keep moving.
Right.
You can't make this is beneficial no matter what I do. And it's slightly different.
Right. And I could look back in hindsight and go, okay, I'm a coach now. I know that wasn't probably the best thing, but also that was the guy that made me fall in love with swimming.
Yeah.
I owe him everything.
Play sharks and minnows in a one of our pools the other day.
In the endless pool.
In the endless pool. I
How
know.
did that go?
Oh my gosh. It was actually really adorable because they were sisters. But I did one of them lessons as an exception because I work with her older sister, and the older one is 12. The younger one just turned 8. She has the attitude of like a sassy grandma, but she doesn't like to work, quote unquote. And I couldn't figure out how to make the work fun. Like normally I'm very good at making the work fun for her, and I just took her and it's great. And this day I could not. And I was very tired. And I was like, okay, Frances, what would you like to do? And she said, play sharks and minnows. And I went, how would we do that in here?
But like that's a great story, because I think so much of swimming, we talk about all the rigidness and the diet, exercise, and all the training, et cetera. But like I think back to the NVSL days, I think back to like summer swim team, and it was like there's a lot of goofing off that was involved too. There was a lot of like pasta dinners. There was a lot of like, okay, it's Fun Day Friday, or we're gonna play sharks and minnows, and like the 18, the 15, 18s will be in the deep end, and like all the 8-unders will be like trying to paddle in the shallow end, trying to pass the ball, and like there's an element of fun, and that community I think really helps kind of facilitate the love of swimming, because you may not be super fast, or you may not be maybe not super slow, but like there's just the community aspect of it. I think that's what makes swimming so great today. I mean, today now I'm removed from NVSL, but like there's a core crew of people that very social that I still stay connected with. They're swimming, doing all sorts of awesome open water swims, and we're just bouncing ideas off. So that socialization and that openness and that like, hey, ask anything, like it's acceptable. Like, and I'm not sure you'd find that coming from the triathlon world. I don't think I'd find that if I was lining up with a guy. I'm like, hey, so tell me about your recovery and your splits, or tell me about your bike, and tell me about your run. Like, I think that there's a like healthy competition in that arena, and but more maybe openness and giving in the swimming community, which like that's why I'm still doing it and why I'm having fun. So
I think that's true for the open water swimming community. I don't know about for the rest of the swimming community as adults, as master swimmers. I could tell you that if you're a female and you go to a pool by yourself, you'll have all the advice given to you that you want.
No one has ever spoken to me at a pool.
All of my female clients go, some dude had to come up and tell me how to swim again.
What are you doing that they're doing?
Tell your clients to just go to the internet. They have all the answers.
Yeah. Wait, so since you said you played sharks and minnows, I need to know if you played a game called Mayhem in the Middle.
Mayhem in the Middle. I don't recall that. Was that where you were the minnows or the fish were put in the middle, and then you had to swim to the wall, or okay.
No.
So no.
Yeah, with Mayhem in the Middle.
Mayhem in the Middle is what taught me breath control. You really shouldn't play it. I don't think they let us play it until we were 12. But it was like a new thing that came about when I was on the swim team, because we played a bunch of games, obviously sharks and minnows and stuff. And then one year, I think someone introduced it. But you have 4 teams. You're in the diving well. Each team is in a corner. All you have to do is get to the opposite corner without taking a breath. The last team with the last person wins. Mayhem in the Middle. Everyone is going underwater to the bottom of the diving well and attacking one another. Try to get you. Try to get you to pop up. And it was so much fun. I don't even know how to explain it. You obviously couldn't do certain things, right? We're just, we're kids. We're trying to be nice.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I played, and I was, it was an all-stars practice. That's what it was. And I was the youngest kid there, and they almost didn't let me play. And I had to swim a 50 underwater. And I think they thought that I wouldn't be able to do that, and they were trying to get me to not play. Right. But I did it. And so then I was allowed to play.
Legit.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was the winner because everyone thought I was going to be a joke. And I remember being like, you guys are all fighting. I'm just going to like slither around you and hold my breath.
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
Fight you a little, but I feel my breath and I can get it. It's so much fun if you don't all beat each other up under the water in the middle.
Maybe we should set up like a rec league, Mayhem in the Middle for adults during summer league, right? Because what are the series? Gotta be open.
Well, they would like some kids would like try to go around and not be a part of the mayhem, right? But like after a certain amount of time, you can't really avoid that.
Right.
And so it was really funny if those people went across to the corner first and they would like look back into the middle, people would be under there for so long. And like, there was this one guy who would just try to hold you until like you ran out of air.
Like a manatee.
Right. And so I would let him hold me.
This was not Navy SEAL training. This was
just fun.
just only a friendly game among 12-year-olds. Okay.
So he held me once and I was just like, okay, oh, you want me to run out of breath? I better be controlling you. I'll just sit here and conserve my energy. And we like stared at one another. And he, like realized he was running out of air. And I'm like, okay, I'll still just stare at you. And then I let out some air and kicked off of his chest.
Oh, jeez.
I was tiny. He was 18.
He deserved
Okay?
it. Yeah.
I didn't like kick him. I just lightly pushed my feet off of his chest. He flat.
So this is a great advertisement as we open the winter, open summer swimming for all the parents out there that are thinking, yeah, maybe my son or daughter should be, maybe they have a lot of energy. Maybe I want to get them on a summer swim team. This could be a really good advertisement for the positivity.
Yeah.
And if you're afraid, I've never heard any
moms and dads get their kids swimming.
None of
never heard of that.
None of my competitive kids have a clue about the game that I'm talking about. No one's had a clue about it. And so I told some of them, because I have like 12 or 13 kids on the same summer team. It's like, do you want me to come to the pool this summer and we can play this game? And they were like, duh. And now I'm like scared that they might murder me. None of me have very good breath control yet. And so I'm like, okay, if I can still hold my own there, like I'll be solid. But I also can't like.
There you go.
I think any parents that are listening that do triathlon also, it's a great opportunity to get your kids into, used to being thrashed at the start of a race or anything, right? It's something you grow up with. As swimmers, we beat each other up and it's kind of normal. But as an adult, you don't do that. And so it's weird when you go to a triathlon and all of a sudden everyone's beating you up.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily like on paper when you're swimming in a pool and someone grabs your ankle and pulls you back. The first time that happens to you, you're like, what the fuck? Right? And you're like kind of offended.
Oh, a little offended.
A little
right.
offended. But then like you get used to it and you're like, oh, that was just a joke. And then you do it to someone and you're like, oh, okay, this is fun.
For sure.
Right? But I really liked those games, Mayhem in the Middle and Sharks and Minnows, because also my team made Sharks and Minnows into like fighting underwater.
Oh yeah, the rule.
How does it not?
Right. The rule was at some point changed to, in order to get somebody out, you had to pull them to the surface.
Yeah.
And tap them on the back of the head.
Oh, and tap them on the head. That's right. You had that over the surface so that you were changing when you're breathing and like
because I would trick people. I'd go up to the surface.
There could be a niche here for adult sharks and minnows. Like that could be something that we might want to explore.
So much fun.
And we'll get this worked out at a
like pay-per-view event.
So much fun.
Well, I don't know if you saw that in LA now they're doing sperm racing. So why wouldn't this also get some?
What are you talking about?
No, I missed that.
Either one of you have seen this?
No, we haven't heard of sperm racing.
The first ever.
Husband.
What? I just read news articles.
And it's like, I think he talks to me and tells me things, Ryan, but I haven't heard of sperm racing. And I have a really weird image in my head of like a cartoon sperm.
It is.
On a horse.
Go online, look up first sperm race. It just happened like 2 weeks ago, I think. Maybe 3 weeks ago. I can't remember now. They have a little course. It looks like a little bit of a maze. And they have it's like magnifying glasses. And you see the sperm go through the maze. And there's, a school of them. They all have to cross the finish line.
I don't want to know how the race starts.
I believe it's through a dropper. I don't know.
We're just going to end that one there and let everyone think their own thoughts about who started the race.
All right.
Oh, the difference.
Yeah.
Get into the race.
So my point is, if somebody's willing to watch that, why wouldn't someone be willing to watch adults play sharks and minnows?
I didn't even watch it.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Put me on the sharks and minnows distro list. I'm all in. So
I'll put it together.
I really liked about those games was that, because I was always very competitive, but what I realized like a few years into them, like, why did I keep wanting to play them? Why do I enjoy this? And I realized that it was making my breath control so much better because I wasn't paying attention to it.
Ooh. Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, I feel my breath, but then I'm going to have this, like, that was a secondary thought. Like, sure, what's going to happen underneath? Yeah. And so I'm trying to figure out different ways to teach people things like that, like distracting them to work on breath control. But those games really are so good because you're so distracted, right?
Yes.
And it's just, oh, it's such a different mindset. This is so much fun.
And I think I think most of swimming, I mean, when I would think of the open water swimming I'm doing today, I'm thinking it's probably maybe, I mean, there's an element of, physical fitness that's there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you, coming off of a big week just 2 weeks ago, finishing the Scar Swim Challenge, like, it's all mental. So if you can, like the gains and the things you can get, if you can just stay in the clean headspace, and if you veer off, then you got to put yourself back in the right lane. It's very much mental. I believe that
Mhm.
like 100%.
Can you
So,
tell us about scars? I don't think
I was
she's
just gonna say, what is that?
SCAR is an acronym that stands for Saguaro, Canyon, Apache, and Roosevelt.
Oh.
And these are all lakes through the Salt River out in Phoenix.
Oh,
And
whoa.
so
Cool.
it's a really cool, it's basically 4 days and like 42 miles of open water swimming. And each lake has each lake has each lake has a challenge based on the temperature or the duration. And so I think the first lake's like 9 miles, second lake is like 8 miles. But these water temps, like you're starting in like they're low 60s, and because it's open water, you're not like you're no wetsuits, no
No
buoyancy,
wetsuit allowed?
No wetsuit.
no wetsuit allowed. So it's just skins for men and women to wear, and you get in there and no neoprene caps or anything like that, and you get in there and you get after it, and it was awesome. There, like the canyon swim, you've got like you're swimming through this lake that's through this canyon. So imagine like swimming through the Grand Canyon. If it wasn't so wide, it was super narrow, and you look up to your left and you see like cactuses and rocks that
What?
stretch hundreds of feet in the air. And then you look to the other right and you look to the other, you see the same thing. And you're just navigating this course. And because, the course has got active, boats and stuff on that. So you have a kayaker next to you. Your kayaker is your like guide. So you're really just sighting off the kayaker, and the kayaker is your feet or all your nutrition.
Yep.
And so, they're there for visibility and safety, but they're also navigating, and you're just trying to follow them through all the zigs and zags of the course. It was awesome. And then Apache swim was like 17 miles day 3. After you've done a 10-mile and a 9-mile swim here, then you did like 17 miles on day 3. And the water temperature started at 52, and then it warmed up to like 60.
Jesus.
It warmed up to 62. Warmed up to 62. But it was awesome because you're just like, this is so cool. And you're like so far out. Like you're like way out. Like there's nobody out there where you are, except you're with like men and women who love to swim, incredible amount of volunteers, a great race director. And like people came from like Australia, Canada, UK, France, Ireland, Colombia, Ecuador. Like these are all people that came to this event. It was only about 50 swimmers and then 50 kayakers for the swimmers and then the volunteers. But it was awesome. It was like, and it's a training kind of a series of training swims that prepares you for like the English Channel, or prepares you for Manhattan, or prepares you for Catalina. And you got to stay flexible and you got to have fun. And it is a ton of fun. So I highly recommend that if you're looking for a serious swim challenge,
Yeah.
like this is it. I'm not discounting any other swims because they're, I'm still new at this and pretty green, and I'm, expanding and doing some new things and,
No,
and
that one
looking to do
sounds
more.
so cool.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Carol Wortman sent me photos of her scar swims, and they're so weird to look at, right? Because just like you were describing, you're like,
Better kayaker take them? Who took them?
probably the kayaker took them.
Yeah.
It's just like swimming on Mars. That's what it looked
Yeah,
like.
it was.
This
It was.
so cool. Like, and I don't like open water swimming. This sounds so cool, minus the fact that I literally don't think that I could do that without a wetsuit. I feel like I would freeze to
You
death.
would freeze. Yeah, you don't have any body.
I'm
fat.
like 115 pounds.
just pure muscle, no fat.
Some,
I'm
Really
having
skinny.
but like, I'll tell you what, like there's
Yeah,
like
please.
swimmers of all sizes, but like 7 of the top 10 finishers in SCAR were women. I mean, and they were fast, fabulous, and just rocking it. I mean, it was like, it was unreal. And I think like if you can acclimate to your cold, and everybody's body type is different, but like if you I think it just takes cold acclimation. No, it's cold showers or jumping in the cold plunge at the gym or at home, or like not wearing a jacket. I mean, it's a lot of small things I think that just kind of acclimate your body over a series of years or quickly if you want some excitement. to try to see like, okay, can I, how well, how well will this do? How well will I do in these elements?
How did you even find that race?
Oh, it's very popular.
Okay, I've known you forever.
It's
and
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's popular amongst if people of like all the people that are like swimming like bigger mileages, like 10, well, I don't know, 15, 20-mile swims. Like it's on the radar. It's definitely
Is this like what Bridges thing, or is this one more obscure?
this one is, no, this is, yeah, 20 Bridges is still, that's rebranded Swimmer on Manhattan. And
Big
so,
difference. It's the same thing.
I mean, I got the Bridges.
yeah. Yeah, so no, that's okay. Fun fact, there are actually 20 bridges to the island of Manhattan, hence the name. That's run by New York Open Water. I did that in October. I highly recommend that event as well too, because that's got to be probably one of the coolest swims I've done in my short open water swimming career, because you just see the city and it's incredible. So
I'll put pictures up in the description. The pictures that you sent me or the videos you sent me, I'll put
Yeah,
in the description so
yeah,
people can see
yeah.
it. It's really cool. It's just like there's little Ryan in the water, and there's these big ass skyscrapers.
Yeah, and like ferries and like,
Where
Staten Island ferries. Like, I mean, what's that?
Where do you get in and out for the swim around
They
Manhattan?
start at North Cove, which is lower kind of towards Battery Park on the Hudson. So that would be on the west side of the island. And if most swims will start at Battery Park, right where the Staten Island ferry is. But if you're faster, then you get to ride around up the East River to Mill Point, where the Harlem River separates from the East River.
Whoa.
And there's a Mill Rock, and that's where you start. That's where I was lucky to get started there. Fun fact, when I was submitting my application, I submitted the wrong time for my hour swim. I put it in yards instead of meters. So I overestimated my swim time by about 10%.
Oops.
And so I didn't realize that until about 5 days before the event, or a week before the event. New York Open Water does a great job communicating. They sent me a timeline, an Excel spreadsheet, very detailed, based on your timeline. Here's where you're going to be. Here are the landmarks you're going to hit. And this is where you're going to be. You got to be around Battery Park by 4:30 because the tides change. And if you're not there, we're just going to pull you out. So this swim's actually matters. It is current assisted. So you get a nice push or pull a little bit depending upon where you start. But like, I was kind of like, that was more of a fear-driven swim, where like, I got to make it around, or I got to make it to the next spot before like, so I just went, I got in the water. It was October. It was a colder water. So it was like 63 or at least colder for me at the time. And just wanted to try to, get after it. So anyway.
When you are
Wait, no wetsuit? Sorry.
no, what's it?
No wetsuit. Yeah, no wetsuit.
Cool.
Just again,
I thought open water was that you could wear a wetsuit up to 70-degree water temps.
No.
When did
That's
that change?
that's the USAT triathlon rules, or is that the
yeah,
triathlon
I think it's
rules
way
at
different,
state? Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly you can't wear, like, people doing open water swims aren't doing that. They're wearing they're wearing a swimsuit that they're comfortable in, and then they're covering themselves in diaper cream. Or
Oh, yes, it is.
disgusting.
It's a 10. Such a
So so you just get just caked over on that. It doesn't come off easily, but it keeps your skin protected for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Did anyone at SCAR talk to you or ask you about your approach to freestyle? Do you feel like there are other people swimming that way?
I saw another swimmer. I saw a couple swimmers on video on Facebook, like it posted their kayakers, took some video of them, and I was like, oh, okay, so Sue has a similar stroke to me, but Sue's friend of Carol Wardman. So maybe they've been talking. So yeah, I don't. There's a couple of swimmers, but there's a lot of high elbow. There's a lot of stuff that I used to do that I just don't do anymore.
Yeah.
And I actually told my kayaker, hey, because when you start these swims, the kayaker's out in the water, your wave is released, you go out. It wasn't a big wave initially, but I'm like, I'm the guy that has like a straight arm freestyle. I'm not like high elbowing it. And so it should be easy to spot. So I use that as a descriptor. My kayaker found me, thank goodness. So it all worked out okay.
I like that.
Awesome.
So I think for me, one of the things that I teach people that is very different than what they're used to is the feather of the stroke.
Yes.
So did you struggle to understand that movement?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Like I struggled with that for a really long time. And then you sent a video of one of your swimmers, and she had a really solid feather in the tank with you, where she was like pushing out, and like you're really trying to extend that feather out and capture as much under the water power as possible as you finish that stroke. I'm still trying to figure that out. I think we'll talk about that more on Friday. I don't know if
See you on Friday.
my feathers are somewhat plucked, I think, when I'm doing this, but I understand most of the power comes from underwater. And it was a challenge because what happened, at least for me, is I kept wanting to pull my elbow up.
Right.
And so I couldn't feather because my elbow kept coming up. And then I would kind of work around, and that's obviously not correct, but it took a while. The video was super helpful. And then it just took a lot of practice, a lot of practice.
It is a lot of practice. And, it's so interesting to me that it's such an uncommon thing to do in swimming.
The feather?
Yeah, that feathering motion. Something that I've not really talked about much with my online presence or even on the podcast. I will mention it like I'm doing right now, but I don't really explain it very much.
You don't.
And part of the reason I don't is it's hard to kind of talk about. You've got to kind of see it as well. And I use visual aids when I coach, right? So I try to get people to picture certain things. And one of the things I like to always call to is how somebody's legs look or feet look when they're ice skating. It would be a very similar action at the end of your stroke.
The
feather motion.
to an ice skating movement.
Yes. So if you know how to ice skate, you can figure out how to feather, probably. But there's a lot of moving
Going to
parts.
explain it?
I might do it as a solo podcast because it would take at least 20 minutes to talk about with like all the explanations and examples and things like that.
We should do a
And then you'd have to post some videos of like people doing it well, and then people like me are probably still trying to figure it out. Like that like you were really trying to get that extra push to set up a straight arm recovery in kind of like that butterfly wing that we talked about, or you were.
You can have a feather and still end up bending your elbow. Your elbow's not going to go straight up in the air, though.
a different bend.
Yeah, it'll be like a slightly later bend in the elbow versus trying to bend your elbow out of the water.
But
which
also
I think
it's
is weird
bent to your side. Your elbow is
Yeah.
bent, pointed to your side, not up and behind you. I think
Right.
it's all a lot. What I talk about a lot is the rotation of your palm and your wrist. And then I make people look at that and then look at where their elbow turns. They're like, oh, it is up.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, just don't pick it up. But I never had that context either.
Yeah.
When I was swimming.
Yeah, and I think a lot of this is just the concept that my elbow is supposed to be high during the recovery, which is what do you define a high elbow? Is it higher than your hand? Okay, well, great. Ryan, you swim with a high elbow recovery. Like, even though your arm is kind of straight, it's also your elbow is higher than your hand usually.
If I was to define that, and in a way that I'm talking about a negative stroke, like the way you don't want to be swimming, a high elbow is when your elbow goes behind your back,
Yeah.
That's definitely the thing to avoid for sure.
pointing up behind your back.
And I think that, one of the things that really stood out to me was just all the pressure in redoing this and refining my stroke, rebuilding my stroke from like the get-go was like, your back is so much more powerful than your shoulders.
Yeah.
Dominic can tell me this many times. And you get with this stroke, you're really engaging a lot more of your traps in your back, not your low back, because then you're swimming like this, but
Well
like swim level, head down, and really engage the upper, your back. Like my shoulders, like they're not by jettisoning the kind of high shoulder recovery or high elbow recovery rather. It helped a ton because it's really like all my power now. And I think that's where I'm getting a lot of my power is like, it's not my shoulders, it's coming from my back because I'm working the stroke as it's just, supposed to be worked. And I think that's where the power is arriving from.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think it's hard for people to quite understand that because there's so much there's a concept that swimmers have broad shoulders, right? And it's like, well, yeah, swimmers do have broad shoulders, but it's their back that are extending, not their shoulders getting really big. All right. So, right. Understanding that helps. But it's also just like with running. Right? I say it all the time. When you run, you use the back chain of your body to move yourself forward. Well, why would that be different with your arms when you're on your stomach? You would use the back chain of your body to move yourself forward.
What do you mean by back chain?
Your butt, your glute, your hamstrings, right? Those muscles that we use when we run, we're supposed to be using when we run. A lot of people don't. And then, that's where we get to the point where I go, well, yeah, your thoracic spine is your upper back butt. It works exactly like your glutes and your hamstrings. You just got to know how to work it like your glutes and your hamstrings. All right. So I would say around your shoulder blades are kind of like around your glutes, I would say your tricep is kind of working similar to what your hamstring would do in the run moment.
Okay.
I know.
You lost me.
I let it live in my little weird head, okay?
You can explain.
No,
As-
it's working out. I'm gonna say it's working.
So I know on my agenda for Friday with you, we will be visiting your kick. I know that. Just based
Yeah.
on some of the videos.
It's a little bit. It's better. Like I used to have the legs. I thought it was doing really well, and then when I had a lot of video and photos from swimming across Lake Tahoe last year, and my legs were like splayed out. I'm like, well, that's me counterbalancing, or it's my lack of balance in the water. It's like you got to keep the legs thighs to thighs, toes to toes. So that's been a really big theme in my kicking in the pool and even in open waters, that you got to keep your feet, thighs, ankles, knee, like everything's got to be together and just, nice and easy, not like a 6B kick or a 5B kick or 15. I don't know, all the different technical kicks there are. Just try to keep your feet not like splayed out, because that's creating drag, and it's also not helping your streamline. So that's been something that I continue to work on, but it's made a huge difference for sure. And I can see through some of the pictures from my most recent swim, I'm like, hey, this is working out. Like I'm thinking about it, and then I've got some video proof here, at least in this like 8 seconds of film that I didn't know I was being filmed. Like I was doing it right. So that's like a total win. I'm like, all right.
And assuming maybe it was on a second or third day of your swim, you probably would have been already fatigued, which means that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 8 seconds, it's still a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So kicking is like, you do need to use your legs, and there's some power there. Probably obviously not as much as your upper body, but it makes a difference. Let's just say that. Like I was really surprised, kind of that progression. I'm still learning. So yeah, I'm looking forward to our session on Friday.
Yeah, and we'll see what's going on. And a lot of the times, to go back to what you're saying about your leg splaying, that happens because you're using your mid to low back to help hold yourself, and so then your legs start to separate,
and
right?
your core and your inner thighs.
Good job.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on and
Has
what
he
we
done
work
any
on next.
Pilates?
No,
Oh,
because
you should make.
you weren't doing any videos when we were working together last.
Ryan, you want to do my Pilates work?
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
Do you do any dry land outside? Like, what is your dry land, if any?
My dry land is every morning after I take the dog out and feed her, I go downstairs to my office, my home office / gym, and I go through just a whole bunch of stretches in the morning for about 20 minutes, and I do a whole bunch of core work, various core work for
You'll
another.
just replace that with mine. You're welcome.
Okay, yeah. And that's good, and that's where I'm getting some of. That's my core work, and then I'm doing weights twice a week. Nothing spectacular, but building that in has just helped, I think, just keep my shoulders and arms, basically upper body healthy. And but core work matters, because I can feel you have a tight core. You're just swimming a lot. It's more of an effortless swim because you're tight, and you're using your arms and the body roll, et cetera, to get through the water. And I think that's another thing that's made a huge difference, that I probably wasn't so, I didn't realize how big of impact it had or has had. And it for sure has helped a ton. So
When you start to work on your kick, you better give him my Pilates.
Well, I'll send you some Pilates to do.
okay. Super.
So 2 things. First, good job in that you stretch every day.
Oh, so true.
A lot of marathon swimmers, open water swimmers, they only ever want to swim.
A lot of
And
everyone.
they just end up compressing themselves because they don't do any of that maintenance work. So good job.
Right.
You're ahead of the curve there. Do you know?
Oh, wait. So I'm an outlier? Am I?
That's it. You're an outlier because you
Just call it as it is.
It's the secret to Ryan's success.
Stretching.
Stretch.
Yeah.
Who knew? So do you know how many hours a week you are working out? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, my workouts, like on my swim schedule is speed week 1, build week 2, bulk week, like super big week 3, and then recovery week 4. And I'll just rotate that through. But my build weeks, my bulk weeks before SCAR were like north of 17 hours a week of swimming.
Been
So
watching TV.
so like it was like the training for that event was really, my training was, I mirrored my practice schedule to the event. So I would swim Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days in a row. It's a 4-day event, trying to, again, get the brain and body synced up. And then it would be like building up to 3 hours Monday, 3 hours Tuesday, 6 hours Wednesday, 2.5 hours on Thursday.
Holy shit.
And that's a lot of, and I'm not out in Annapolis. I'm just, it was mostly local pools. I wish I was the place warm, but this just how it worked out. And so again, you get into a good headspace where you find yourself in a not great headspace, and you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to be here for a while.
Yep.
I better try to, like, get back to where I need to be.
And that's
But yeah, it's so much mental. But here's the great thing. I would think there was a segment of like deep work. They taught there's a theme of deep work and, going off and just, embracing, like, in isolation, thinking through like difficult challenges or problems or finding solutions. Like, there was a lot of time swimming back and forth in the pool that allowed me to think and plan and strategize about all aspects of life, not just swimming. So I think that was good too. I got out of the pool going, okay, I've got some things sorted out in my head now that I may not have had before I jumped in.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of people do go, well, how does he have the time to do 17 hours worth of training? Right. Well, you're using some of that to work some things out. So that's kind of interesting.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Nice.
I hate when I ask someone, what were you thinking in that round? And they go, nothing. I'm like, that's bullshit. You can tell me if you're thinking about a cheeseburger. Like, just tell me what you think. I want to know.
Yeah. Food thoughts are really like, you don't want to think about it too much because you're really hungry.
Oh, yeah.
You can get your brain all worked up. Like, I want a cheeseburger. I'm like, if it's only like 7:15 in the morning, you've only been in the water for an hour and 15 minutes. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Where
you
do
can't
I
get a
get
cheeseburger
a
now.
cheese?
You have to swim. So yeah, it's fun. So.
All right. Let's wrap this up, Brian. We will
Yes.
have you on again. I think also
Okay.
because we're going to see each other again. So it'll be fun to come.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
You get
looking
some
forward to it.
progress.
This has been fun. Thank
Don't
you
hang
again
up.
for the
He said,
invitation.
"Let's stop recording and then we'll stay on. Don't hang up."
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
He never tells anyone that. And then we go, bye. And then they hang up. And it's like, you didn't tell them we were going to stop recording. So when we say bye, Ryan,
Right.
don't actually hang up.
Yeah, just like
Stay on the
You
phone.
keep saying that you're new to your open water swimming career. I'm new to my podcasting career, which is not true.
It's great. Hey, we're all learning. It's all good. Safe space.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we'll have you on again. We'll talk more about this. I will see you on Friday. I'm super excited about that. And is there anything else you need to add?
I need to eat a bagel now. Okay.
Bye.